Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss how the bourbon industry could be more eco-friendly. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Phil Cullen, Evan Neters, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everyone.
Hey-oh. So, yeah, we've got a fun show today. We're going to be talking about eco-friendly and bourbon. How can the industry be more eco-friendly? We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Phil said there's something we want to talk about. What is that, Phil?
It's a hot new product in the whiskey world, and it's taking the country by storm. It's not that at all, but I posted it on Instagram, and it was very divisive, and it was very scintillating, and it got a conversation going there, and I bet we'll get some strong opinions here. And McNew saw it. She had something to say about it. But there is a small farm distillery in Iowa, just in time for the spooky season, is releasing a candy corn whiskey.
Oh, I've tried it, actually.
Yeah, so I want to get your guys' take. I know you have some knowledge. I know it showed up on tasting of it. Oh, all right.
I was a judge in a spirits competition by the American Craft Distillers, and they entered that. I guess they won an award. I mean, I didn't win an award, but they won. In
what category?
Flavored whiskey.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I guess that's where it is.
Yeah.
So why was it terrible?
It's like super sweet. I mean, if you melted candy corn, it has kind of a fake candy corn type of taste. But it's just super sweet. I can't drink that stuff that's super sweet like that.
Tim, what'd you think of it?
I actually was surprised by it. He was on. I had that distiller in that company on our flagship whiskey event.
Oh, well, then he's excellent. I loved it.
Everybody had the same thing. It's not for everybody. It sure as hell isn't for everybody, but it's surprisingly. It will surprise you if you don't like waxy candy corn. You're not going to like this no matter what. So you're automatically out.
Who likes waxy candy corn?
McNew hates it, despises it.
Passionately hate it. Like, I wouldn't even give this whiskey a fair chance just because it said candy corn on the bottle, because I'd be like, oh, it's already disgusting. I'm repulsed by candy corn.
But Tim, you say it does a pretty accurate representation of what candy corn would taste like if it was in a liquor form.
Correct. And for the right cocktails and different recipes, it was surprisingly interesting.
Okay. Surprisingly complex, perhaps.
Complex.
Not necessarily. No. I wouldn't say complex. I would say very interesting. I mean, so what's nice is normally you see some of that stuff coming in at lower, like 50 proof, 30 proof, something like that. They load it up to 70, so they do throw some good alcohol content in there. But yeah, it's my opinion, it's a cocktail type setup, themed setup, and the stuff flies off the shelf for a small distiller that can sell everything that they make in that.
Yeah,
not a bad setup for them.
I saw a picture of the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Evan.
Oh, I was just asking how much those bottles go for. You say they fly off the shelf.
I think it was below $50, so I was like between 30 and 50 or something like that.
There you go.
When I saw a photo of the bottle, I dug in and I scanned the website 4 times because it didn't look real, it didn't look legit, but it's 100% a real product and a real distillery with limited distribution. And you don't hear farm to grain to glass very often in terms of
candy corn
flavored whiskey, but that's what they are.
Candy corn straight from the farm. Straight from
the factory that makes the candy corn. Farm.
No, Kevin, would you try this if someone put a pour of it in front of you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
He was dancing. He answered. He responded. To that. So he was loving it. He was loving it.
Oh yeah, I saw the post. I'll try it.
Yeah. So there you go.
Always something new to dip your big toe in and give a shot to in the world of quote unquote whiskey. So you just never know.
Right.
There you go. All right. On that note, it is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with.
We're all drinking candy corn whiskey, Steve.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Go ahead, Tim. What do you got?
All right. What I have is a bottle of Snake Eater from our friends over at Leatherwood Distillery.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Oh, so nice.
Wow.
Solid.
Best
but
ever.
I know
that's
this
Tim's
this is Neater's night. It always is. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So that was good. That was as good as Tim's ever done. There was slosh on the end, but it was good. Neaters, you're next. Let's see if he can knock him off right away.
You're going to put me next time.
Well,
I have an old 55 single barrel bourbon from the ABV barrel shop.
Okay, that was very good. Very good. Not going to be good enough, though. Not enough today.
No, I think Tim's.
You don't think so?
No, you got it.
The Tim's was better. So, all right, McNew, what do you got?
I think Tim's still going to be in the lead. I have green.
He's not in the lead right now.
Evan.
She's gaslighting us, Steve.
Oh my God, I don't even care.
My ability to pay attention is like 0.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, Phil.
I have a Bullet 12-year rye. You don't see this guy too often, so I jumped on a bottle when it made its way to the shelf here. So, a lot of work for nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing. All right. Penelope, architect. All right,
what's wrong with you? Are you having a stroke? You're doing the brand a disservice by using this.
Hey, it's our show. If we want to call it Penelope, we can.
Pull over here for this flea market. They sell antiques. Do you mean antiques? What's happening?
Go get your micro.
Speaking of that, so I was in a presentation yesterday. Evan was there too, and of course, Indiana distiller Ian Sturzman, master distiller of MGP.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's an Indiana guy, and he says, "I'd like to preface this by saying," and we're like, "Oh my God, that's an Indiana thing. That's an Indiana thing."
I was waiting for Steve to make eye contact with me.
He prefaced it. I was like, "What the hell's happening?" Indiana. So we may owe you an apology in Indiana. That may be right. That may be in your state constitution or something. I don't know.
It's a Hoosier thing.
No longer judge me anymore.
No, I got to take it off my list.
Oh yeah. He prefaced
but it doesn't change your VIP-ness, though, McNew. You still have gleaming VIP-ness.
Yeah.
And at least it's not from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Oh,
top tier VIP-ness.
All right. Still back to the Penelope. Here we go. Yeah, that was good. Again, I was proud of my effort, but it's not enough. So
Architect did very good.
Architect, yes.
Architect. Yep.
Cheers to whoever won.
Whoever. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
And Evan, a quick clarifying and apology. I now see on the Facebook post you responded you would try it using a GIF of Nick Jonas raising his hand somewhat embarrassingly. So
that's right.
I apologize for not.
I didn't even know who it was.
Because I knew Steve was going to say something.
Yeah,
yep.
I saw it.
It's Jonas. I believe it is Nick Jonas, but
really,
it's one of them.
It's Ed Jonas, right?
Sad you guys know that. Yeah.
Not Joe.
Isn't there Jim Jonas?
Jim Jones?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jim Jonas. I don't know the brothers. Who knows? They all look the same. Like the
Hansons. They do.
Maybe that's the younger one. They call him Bonus Jonas.
Oh, it's a Phil joke. This is the right audience here.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that was a trivia question I asked the other night. Who was the fourth Jonas brother? The fourth Joe Bro, the Bonus Jonas. The Bonus Jonas. So it very much is a Phil joke. Yes.
You need your clown horn. Wah, 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 wah. Waka waka.
All right. Wow. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, We're going to be talking about making bourbon distilleries, the bourbon industry, more eco-friendly. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. We're also sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop focuses exclusively on barrel picks. It's the job of owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnat to seek out distilleries that are making the best whiskey in the world, taste through their barrels, and select the ones that are off-profile in the best way possible. They have high standards and refuse to allow anything into their store other than something they would be proud to have their name on. This leads to some really awkward conversations with distilleries that can't make it, but they do it for you, their customers. Learn more about what is going on at their St. Louis-based store by heading over to abvbarrelshop.com. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
My name is Ryan Thompson. I'm a billionaire who buys stupid scotch, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're discussing how we can make the bourbon industry more eco-friendly.
Yes, we are. So more eco-friendly. What can they do? Let's solve everything for the bourbon industry right here, right now. What do we got?
They can start rapid aging processes.
Oh,
and this
God.
will make it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm probably going to get some hate for this one, and I'm
Go
prepared
ahead.
for emails in the comments. But I think we might need to go to Congress and change some laws, because using the barrel one time is really wasteful, and we know it can be used again and still make good products. So what if we say twice as the max to call it a bourbon? Like, the barrel's really
You're not wrong there, McNew.
And I'm going to get hate for it. I know, because it's the law and we're proud of it, but it's the biggest issue, I think. One of the biggest.
I agree. I think that's the biggest issue, but it's also like the biggest controversial thing, because I mean that's what makes the bourbon.
It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference from new oak versus used. I mean, you can make a bourbon mash and put it in used oak, and I'm telling you, and compare them at the 3-year mark, at the 4-year mark, they're going to taste totally different. You make them, and I get barrel by barrel is going to vary. I'm not talking about the variants that you're going to get barrel to barrel. I'm going to talk about overall. It's going to be not as mature. It's not going to be.
Look at Mitch Stir's American whiskey versus the bourbon. Taste them both side by side.
Yeah.
But along with agreeing with Steve and what he's saying, you've got to overcome a generation of marketing and talk about the bourbon brands have been putting out why bourbon is a superior whiskey because it's aged in new barrels. You got to turn your back on that and say, well, it's okay. We're using the barrels again now. After saying the opposite for years.
Is there and I still don't know this, because I've heard it. People make this point. Is it an oak problem or is it a cooperage problem? What is the true barrel shortage a result of? Are we struggling? Is there less problems? Did we not plant enough oak years ago? Or is it we can't build cooperages fast enough because the bourbon industry is growing so quickly? I don't know the answer.
Greedflation?
I think it's both.
I do too. It's kind of hand in hand, like both are an issue.
And whether oak is an issue to the cooperages right now, it will be in the future.
Will it? I don't know.
Sounds like we get more questions than answers. Our
I
challenge
think
of solving the world's problems aren't.
That's my prediction.
Okay. Well,
Well, the catch is
replanting
too.
as they go. I mean,
But they're not growing as fast as they're getting cut down, is my
maybe.
opinion.
Well, maybe, or I mean, we always use Cuceris alba as the one. Now you've got all the various different oak varieties that are out there, and then it's still new oak. It still needs to be harvested over time. But you know, for in the industry's defense, those barrels are used how many times over? It's not like they're used once and tossed either.
Correct.
So when you think about how many, if you look at some of the barrels in Scotland, then once they use after they've aged Scotch for 30 years, next you know there's Tabasco in there. Next you know there's tequila in the Tabasco. Next you know there's bourbon, then put in Tabasco barrels, or rye put in Tabasco. So there is a longevity on those barrels over time. But it does start at the source, though. You still got to grow them.
And it's not even to like put any sort of blame on the bourbon industry either. I mean, also like you got to think about how many people are on this planet, and we're developing all the time. So there's less space for these trees to even grow in general. You know, it's not. It just it all comes back to that.
We need to innovate with rapid aging and rapid growing of trees. It all goes down with rapid aging.
Rapid trees.
This is what it is.
I mean, if they can do it right, maybe.
Tim, I'd like to give you points for Queros Alba. I always forget the scientific name of white oak. So tip of the hat.
Cuceris chinkapin.
Oh,
so it's funny about
is that 10-pin oak? What's chinkapin?
It's chinkapin oak.
Type of oak. Yeah.
So I'm planting oak trees on purpose. I was funny. I was at a nursery, and I'm like, "Do you have any Cuceris chinkapin?" They're like, "Who are you?" And so I started talking about it's not many people know how to connect it to what you're doing. Am I going to turn a chinkapin oak into a barrel? No, but it's nice knowing on the properties the various different oaks that I can grow on my property over time of the various different varieties that I can say they're tied to the whiskey and the barrel structure cooperage. That was pretty cool.
Swide compound is making a difference.
Oh, it is. It is.
It is.
So I don't know enough about green impacts and overall production from beginning to barrel to even distributor truck, so it can make an alternative. But tip of the hat to Maker's Mark, and I know we talk about Maker's Mark a lot, but they earned a stringent B Corp certification in December 2021, and that includes some rigorous certifications in governance, community, and environmental high achievement. So they had to be evaluated and ranked and scored and earned and re-earned this B Corp certification to make sure that they are being as best they can environmental friendly. So one thing that could be done is making sure that anyone who wanted to be a member of the KDA or maybe even Distilled Spirits, DISCUS, has to be B Corp certified for an environmental position. That'd be my vote. That's all I got.
But it's probably a good step in the right direction.
It's all about steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the more serious notes on this, instead of me being an asshole about rapid aging, I threw out there the heating element process. Geothermal is something that can be done. It's expensive up front. The break even's about 20 years. But if you got constant heat pumps coming through, be able to get that steam going, and then water reclamation as well. I'm sure there's a ton of places that we can do that for water reclamation in the processes as we go.
Inside a volcano? Can we do it inside a volcano?
We can do it inside a volcano. Yeah.
It's like a Bond villain mix.
From some of those options.
A Bond villain makes whiskey.
Yeah.
Welcome to my volcano distillery, Mr. Bond. As you can tell, it's very environmentally friendly. Well, good for you, Lead Belly.
I need to go back to Wisconsin.
Isn't Diageo working on a distillery that is carbon neutral? Isn't that supposed to be happening?
Yes. Yeah, net neutral on everything at the end of the day. I do think there's carbon credits in there, or they're using financing using green bonds. So bonds that have to be issued with certain levels of the financing will only happen with the bank that's doing it if they meet certain requirements from the environmental community and those types of touch points. So I'm sure the financing is also focused on some of those efforts. But yeah, I think you're right, Steve. They're doing something with geothermal and steam instead of open fire and recapturing any of the carbon that's coming out and trying to do something with that or sell it off. And all the byproducts are all reusable. Everything across the process is about as reusable as it's going to get.
Yeah, so I was going to say that too, Tim. So they are eco-friendly in a way. All that spent mash is going back to farmers. Like, they're not wasteful by any means. So I think they don't get enough recognition for that sometimes.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So there you go.
But they got to capture the cow farts. So got to capture the cow farts. That's the problem.
That's the problem. So
we're blaming them.
Yeah.
Yep. Marinating from the inside.
Fair enough. So there you go. There's some ideas to be more eco-friendly.
Tim, what'd you say? What about the inside? What'd you just say?
You got to marinate them from the inside. That's why you feed them the dried distilled goods.
And that makes them better tasty on the plate because
oh hell yes.
Sure.
Go to 859 Tap Room and try that. Try a burger from there, from the Kaplans, and
that's marinated in farm that from the inside.
Even Neely has stuff in the refrigerator.
Yeah, buy some of that stuff from Neely. Yeah,
okay.
There you go. It's a different way.
I need some of that.
You learn something new every day on the Bourbon Daily.
Heck yeah. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Evan, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Evan Needers.
Tim.
Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
Phil.
Sweet Sammy Hagar. You can follow me on Twitter at Derby City Phil. You can catch the pictures on Instagram also at Derby City Phil.
All right, McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. That's the one you got to check out. We put all of our information out there. We put all of our blogs out there. We put all of our shows out there. So much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. You never know who's going to be there. Heck, Evan Needers is there all the time. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some of the great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro is owned and operated by Russell Creed, who makes stills for the hobby distiller. He offers a one-stop shop for everything the at-home distiller needs. Whether it's a small, experimental stovetop still or something bigger you run outside, he has the still or parts you would have difficulty fabricating yourself if you were trying to build a DIY still project. Additionally, he has resources to assist in creating unique distilled spirits, including heirloom grains, barrels for aging, and recipes. Check out Russell's company online at moonshinestillpro.com. Finally, I have a question for you. Have you ever boxed a bear? Of course not. That'd be silly. Bears really don't follow the rules, so shots in the back of the head, punches to the nuts, and scrums after the bell would be the norm. A better idea would be to enjoy Boxing Bear Whiskey, a brand crafted by Nobleton's Distilling House in Union, Missouri, and sold exclusively at the ABV Barrel Shop in suburban St. Louis. This is a popular offering that sells out quickly, but when you're in town, stop by the ABV Barrel Shop and see if they have it in stock. Better yet, sign up for their email and text distribution over at abvbarrelshop.com, and you'll know exactly when it is in stock. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.